We are back with a Fox News alert. Rex Tillerson out as Secretary of State. President Trump tweeting moments ago, Mike Pompeo, director of the CIA, will become our new Secretary of State. He will do a fantastic job. Thank you, Rex Tillerson, for your service. Gina Haspel will become the new director of the CIA and the first woman chosen. So congratulations to all. John Roberts live at the White House with the very latest. So, John, I guess the big news day. Big first question, though. Rex Tillerson, fired or quit?
He was asked to step aside, I'm told. Yeah, we had barely even got our first cup of coffee down before this happened. You could hear the helicopter, too, behind me landing to take the president to Andrews Air Force Base. He's headed for California today. We'll tour the border. Rex Tillerson was asked by the president on Friday to step aside. The reason why the president wanted to make the change now is because he wanted to have a new team in place for his dealings with North Korea. Also wanted to have a new team in place for all of the trade negotiations that are going to be happening this year. With infrastructure now looking like it's really not going to go anywhere. Trade will be the big focus of this administration for the next 8 to 9 months. And the president wanted to make sure that he had a team in there that he really likes, he really trusts, because there's no secret that while Rex Tillerson had a vote of confidence from the president early on, that seemed to wane substantially. Tillerson always seemed kind of like the odd person out at the State Department. I'm told by people inside the State Department that he really didn't get it when it came to sort of the public face of diplomacy. He was operating more as a CEO, doing a lot of things behind closed doors, getting his own lines of communication going, and that wasn't really jiving with the way that the State Department has traditionally done things. You know, we had Mike Pompeo on Fox News Sunday, and I never, ever thought to ask him the question of, by the way, are you going to be Secretary of State come Tuesday? He clearly knew about all of this. Again, the president told Tillerson on Friday to step aside. The fact that Gina Haspel, who is a 32-year career service officer at the CIA, is now ascending to the position of the director really is an important piece of news here. She will be the first woman, female service career officer, to head the CIA rather than a political appointee, as most presidents have chosen. She is one that has risen up through the ranks. She knows that place top to bottom. And I talked to Mike Pompeo about that on Sunday off camera. Just how long did it take you to get up to speed with what's going on at the CIA, even though you were on the Intelligence Committee for a long, long time in the House? And he said that every day he learns something new about the CIA. So to have Gina Haspel there, who's come up, picked herself up from the bootstraps and climbed all the way through that organization, should be a big asset for the president. Not really that much of a surprise that this happened, because you'll remember back in October we were saying that we were expecting Rex Tillerson would leave sometime in the new year. The president shot that down. Tillerson shot that down, but we had some pretty good sourcing on that, and it has finally come to pass here this morning.
A couple of things, John. For example, Rex Tillerson, we know, was down. He was a little sick over in Africa. I don't know if that played a role in it at all, but he was not up to speed on the North Korea situation, clearly. Said we weren't close to talks. Turns out the president has agreed to one-on-one talks, so that doesn't look good, but the State Department always seemed a little out of step with him at the helm. However, let's think about this for a second. Remember that Secretary of Defense Mattis is so tight with Tillerson, reportedly, and maybe some of these reports came from you, they said if Tillerson's out, I'm gone too. We know Mattis is in Afghanistan right now, but do you have any idea if he knew about this, and might that still be his reaction?
I have no idea if Mattis had firsthand knowledge about this. I would assume he did, being one of the key members on the national security team. Again, this happened on Friday. Word sort of, spread around through the inner circle of the White House over the weekend and yesterday. I would be very surprised if Mattis was not informed about this. I would also be very surprised if Mattis were to say, well, because Rex Tillerson is gone, I'm going too.
Sure.
He is very solid as the Secretary of Defense, likes his job. The president thinks he's doing a fantastic job. He's a rock star in this administration, so I have no reason to believe that he would take his ball and go home just because Tillerson's out.
You know, as a female, I thought it was interesting that Gina Haspel, she has the highest position at the CIA, which is wonderful. Then you have Hillary over in India saying that this president is looking backwards, that he doesn't want women to have jobs. Clearly, that's not the case.
Yeah, you know, there's some incongruities in what's being said as opposed to what's happening.
What's
But
actually
I don't want to comment too much on that.
Sure. John, explain okay, so if folks are just joining us, Rex Tillerson is out as Secretary of State. He will be replaced by the current CIA Director, Mike Pompeo, from the great state of Kansas. Explain, as the CIA Director, this particular CIA head has had a uniquely close relationship with this president. John, explain how, for the most part, they have coffee together every morning, although Donald Trump doesn't drink coffee, he has a Coke. But they get together every day for Mike Pompeo to tell the president what's going on throughout the world.
Yeah, and if Pompeo's traveling, then one of his chief deputies comes over here to the White House. The president has something on most days called the Presidential Daily Brief. And on most days, he receives an intelligence briefing. By and large, Mike Pompeo is the one who delivers that briefing. The president was excited to have him come on board as the CIA director, also thought that he would make a terrific Secretary of State. I remember being stuck in traffic one day on the George Washington Parkway coming into work, and there was a couple of black SUVs that were making their way with their sirens on, pushing traffic aside. That was the CIA director who was coming down to the White House to brief the president. But, you know, the relationship between the CIA director and the president, it's very much a behind-the-scenes sort of thing, but it is one of the closest relationships that a president has. You know, you've got your national security advisor who's briefing you almost every day, if not every day, and then you have your CIA director who's doing very much the same thing. And the president and the CIA director spent a lot of quality time together, sure. And so you can see that they've developed a close bond. Now,
John,
Pompeo was traveling all last week, so he wasn't here at the White House.
John, we only have 20 seconds left, but it's good news for the State Department that someone tight with the president is going to be leading that. Whether you're a Tillerson fan or not, that'll get the State Department closer to the White House, don't you think?
Yeah, there's no question about that. I think there'll be much greater lines of communication between the new Secretary of State and the President than there was between the former Secretary of State and the President.
All right, John Roberts, I've got a feeling folks are going to be seeing you all day long there at the White House with the big news.
What else is new?
Yeah, they're going to go to you in about 20 seconds. So thank you very much for joining us right now.
Thanks,
You bet.
John.